Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming. Today we're going to be playing some more Citizen Sleeper. Let's load up our save. This is actually the third straight episode of this I filmed today. I've really been in the mood for it, really been enjoying it. So I quite like having multiple series going at the same time. Then if I'm really in a mood to play a particular game, like I'll play a few episodes of it straight and get to sort of schedule it ahead of time, which I quite enjoy. Now, it hasn't saved my sleep, which is unfortunate because it had a pretty good roll in the last episode, so we'll have to do that again. Hopefully I'll get a good one again. Nope, it's rubbish. Well, I got a 6, so that's not too bad. But I think we can go and talk to Emphis again, so let's go do that. Might even get a free feed out of it. Emphis is preparing the Girol caps. He has had to heavily adapt this recipe, he says, but the smell is already incredible. It emanates from a strange, purplish-white bulb you've never seen before, and he is slicing it finely. He brushes and slices the mushrooms and then places them in the wok with the sliced bulb and the oil. They caramelize there in that well-worn crucible. He adds liquids, transparent and opaque, and then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch.
We have a moment, Sleeper. He smiles. Do you have a story?
Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia, something distant and melancholic. It seems like the story should match that feeling somehow, and maybe you'll feel better for telling it. Let's recall our oldest memories. You start by explaining that when you are emulated from a person, many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it is an intentional part of the process, a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable, or perhaps it is a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit that you don't really know. What you do know is that some memories survive, and that on occasion they come back to you like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory which, despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it familiar, always fades as quickly as it arrives. You struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you have forgotten something important, but just can't bring it to mind. Emphis nods throughout, cooking as he does with deft and skillful movements. You start to trail off when you realise you can't find the words to explain how the memories you do have feel like both yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with a certain sadness. The sadness of remaining forever unknown, even to yourself. Emphis finishes cooking and meets your eye.
I'm sorry, Sleeper, for all your troubles.
He puts the wok to one side.
I appreciate you sharing with me.
He smiles. I hope it lightens you a little. He passes you a bowl and heaps the Girols into it, their yellow colour mixing with the pale sauce in whirls and blooms.
Eat.
The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat in a way that you weren't even sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy, you think, that Essenarp left you this pleasure. Many of the features of frames are there to simulate human experience. You know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so their need for embodied experience must be met. That is why you breathe even when you do not need air. Without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it to produce energy from the raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power, so much is wasted. And yet, while you eat this food and feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Emphis takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. Instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back into the bright market, somehow changed. Nice. We go out to Emphis. He wants a couple of Matsutakis now for his next one. That's okay. We'll probably get those eventually. Do I want scrap or... Probably not right now. I think we head over to the Greenway. We might have those mushrooms grown now. I think so. Oh, here we go. Harvest mushrooms. That's right. So... Okay, we could get 2 random rare mushrooms or 1 Girol cap with a failure. So it's tempting to put our 2s in because... you know, there's no bad result, honestly. 2 random fungus. So we got 1 Matsutake and 1 Girol. I think we'll try that again. There we go. So we've got 2 Matsutake now, 1 Girol, and 1 Clubhead Caps. Let's leave that just for now. Service dock, the derelict Greenway dock. What's that? Waiting for Feng. Oh, yeah. He said something about needing 6 cycles to get there. That's fine. Let's go and see if I can click on them. It's a bit difficult with this service dock thing in the way. Can I click on that just to move the label? Yeah, that's better. Okay, so they want Girols and Matsutake. Well, let's put in a Girol first. Okay, that's done a couple. That's good. Do I save the Matsutake's here? I mean, I'll get more later, I'm sure. So let's do them here. Ooh, nice. Let's do another one like that. Cool, so we've got 4 more segments to go. That's fine. We probably need, if we're going to plant more... Actually, we have 1 more fungal yield. I put the 1 in. That's not good. I put the 6 in. Yeah, why not? Let's make this our action for the day, this harvesting. And we got another Matsutake and another Clubhead, which is a bit strange. In terms of it's a strange mushroom. Now we probably need to go back. Oh, we got an upgrade point. We probably need... I mean, a 1 seems a bit risky here, right? Yeah. But let's go and put the other Matsutake in here. It won't be enough to progress this, unfortunately, because she's not accepting clubheads at this time. So we're almost there. Oh, that's okay, though. Now, oh, the ambergris. What's going on here? I think we've got to wait another cycle. Ankhita is away. A note says, sleeper stay, I'll be ready soon. She needs to think about what she did. Upgrades available, but we've only got 1 point, so that's not quite true. Because we need 2 to do anything. Possibly 3. I guess the question becomes, do I want either of these perks? The ability to reroll wouldn't be bad. I mean, I probably would have done that after using the 6 this morning, maybe. So maybe we'll save up another upgrade point and do that. I don't know how many drives we've got going. Quite a lot, actually. Bring mushrooms to the Briar. I wonder if they'll take the clubheads I've gathered. We go check. Where are they? Are they this one? They want Girols. 2 Girols caps. Oh, welcome to episode Flux. Now, I haven't played this. This was a post-launch DLC they released a few months ago now, I think. There's a new one due. There's 2. They've released 2 episodes, and there's a 3rd one due early this year. So it's possible, if not likely, it'll come out while I'm still playing. I think I'll probably finish this playthrough before it comes out, but that's okay. So yeah, so I don't know what happens here. It's the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla, which has arrived at the Eye. Completing the action above will begin that story, but be aware it is intended for late game play. Okay, well I think we're probably... I would still class this as mid-game. So that's interesting. A couple of Girols there, that's good. I'll probably use this 1 to collect some data from one of the agents. I don't know how much I've got. I don't think I've got any data at the moment. It might be Yataghan with the 1. Yeah. I might sell them as well. Get 20 credits in today. Because I do still need money, so let's go down to Havenage. I mean, the low dice actually were fine for me today. I got pretty good results off them, I think. So, I'm not that worried, really. Full energy, so I don't need to worry about that. Let's go home. And I'll feed the cat today. It's been a couple of days. It doesn't mean they'll like you. They are a cat, after all. Well, for 3 cryo, let's feed it. The stray crunched up the crackers as you watch. Sometimes they let you stroke them, sometimes not. Actually, you know what we could do? We could try the self-repair thing with this scrap freighter. I've got a little bit of money now, obviously. Let's pop 16 in. I got a scrap. Yeah, we'll leave it at the 1 for now. I want to see how much condition I can repair with this scrap. Let's see, so just before the threshold to the last one, it's 1 slot. It's a bit slower than I thought. I was hoping for at least a couple. But still, you know, I mean, it all helps. If I get another one, though, I could go up to getting 5 dice for tomorrow. Let's do that. We lose one a day. I mean, well, I suppose the theory doesn't really work because the ship's not always here. But, you know, in theory, we might be able to do that and just stay on that kind of threshold. Maybe. So yeah, so this should push us to being able to get 5 dice tomorrow. There we go. We're a quarter of a way through the Maywick timer. It's alright, another 5 cycles and we'll start working for... I forgot his name now. The dude who's tracking the old... Oh, we didn't get a 5th dice. Oh, it's a bit annoying. I thought we would have done. Never mind. Got decent dice as it happens. I kind of want to get the mushrooms growing again. God, I can't get on top of this money. Every time I get a bit of money, I spend it on something. Play the markets maybe. We get 20 with each success there. 24 even. But I kind of want to get these going again. Grove spores. So with the 3... there's a good chance of a decent success. Let's try it. Neutral. Okay. So I've got 3. Can I plant those? Do I need more than 3? 3's fine. That's what I need. Let's do that. I think Ankhita's back now, so we should go and check out what she's doing. Cool, so we've got some mushrooms growing there now. That's going to be 1, I think it's 4 cycles for these? Yeah. Fang, that's it, Fang. Don't know why I forgot his name. Oh, here we go, Ankhita. You spot Ankhita on the track to the farm stack. She has a box on her shoulder and is working her way down the slope. She sees you as she approaches. Neither of you speak for a moment. She looks tired, pale. Her hair is tangled and clumps of dirt cling to her armour. You both eye each other. I'm going to stay silent. Sleeper? She takes a deep breath. I'm sorry for what happened. Truly I am. She looks down. I'm sorry you ended up in the middle of this, when all you've shown me is kindness. She rubs her face. I'm sorry. It's okay. She nods, then looks up to the stars. I've never... She stops herself. Thank you. Ankhita shifts the weight of the box on her shoulder. I've been preparing for... She grimaces. Look. She sighs. Can you come with me? It's easier if... Lead on. Ankhita leads on down the dirt path between the pillars. There is a... There is a wind passing through the greenway. A quirk of the air currents the biosphere maintains, and it ruffles the leaves softly. The sound makes the silence more obvious, more complete. You try not to think of the last time you were here. You've been trying not to think of it for the past few cycles. The image of the sleeper, sprawled, twisted open, connected to the ship mind, has been hard to forget. You realise Ankhita is leading you back there, back into the drum at the centre of the stack. You pause, trembling a little at the threshold. She turns. What are you doing? She looks at you with empty eyes. What needs to be done? You stand on the threshold and look up at the tanks, green and wet, some glowing with flickering grow lamps. You look down at Ankhita, suddenly so small under this hulking ruin, the smallest she's ever looked. She places the box down. Follow her in. You follow Ankhita into the stack through a low tank, entering the drum at ground level. It is just as beautiful as you remember, but it barely touches you. Instead, you check the apertures of the tanks for the glint of a weapon or a shadow among the moss. Ankhita stops and you look down. The mossy island at the centre of the tank is clear now, the equipment cleared away. In its place is a mound of dirt loosely covered with moss. Ashton's rifle stands straight, half buried in the dirt at the grave's head. I buried them together, Ankhita says without turning. You both stand there in silence for a little while. You think of questions you could ask about Ashton, about the sleeper. Was the sleeper dead? She takes a moment to respond, and for a moment you think she won't. But then the words come gushing out. Their body was long dead, that much was obvious. After you left, I checked them, but there was nothing. No signal, no function. The ship mind was the same. Dead. I don't know if Ashton's plan would have worked. He seemed desperate, but that doesn't mean it wasn't... She pauses, unsure how to continue. I don't think he was lying, but you have to understand. I've had crew members double-cross me, undercut me, rat me out. That's the business. He wasn't a good person. None of us in this job are. And this is how we die, alone. I'm sorry they had to die too. She stops, not sure of what to add. It seems like she is reaching for something, but she can't quite get there. You feel that gap between you, and as you do, it widens. The water drips. The moss trembles. You both stand in silence for a while longer. You both feel it, life creeping back in, the silence ending. Ankhita shifts her weight and then starts to walk out. You follow her, suddenly eager to be back out in the open space of the greenway, to be away from this place forever. You stand outside and breathe the fresh air. You stare at the green leaves and the stars wheeling above them. That's it, says Ankhita from somewhere behind you. You try to think of something to say, but can't. Ankhita puts her hand on your shoulder. You turn back to her. At least take this. She forces a handful of cryo chits into your hands. It's what I owe. She looks at you desperately. You look down at the metal bars. Ugly little things, you think. I'm going to take them. I need the money. Sorry. You take the chits and turn without saying a word. You continue up the track and she does not follow. As you walk up the rise, the wind picks up and the leaves shudder. You walk faster, trying to outpace your anger. The chits are heavy in your pockets and you hate them for reminding you of how little a life is worth. Oh wow, she gave me 200 credits. That's awesome. Thanks, Ankhita. That's brilliant. I'm going to be able to go and invest in Bliss. We're going to take the reroll perk. And then I think I might save up to get a +2 in something. I'm not quite sure what yet, but we're going to need 3 upgrade points for that, which is going to take a little while. So Ankhita, I think that might be the end of our deal with her. I think she's done. So we can get one for investing in Bliss, which we're going to do now. I'm not going to help Ethan. Yeah, I haven't done this yet. Unlock the gate, find a nurturing grow bed for the seed. I haven't done that yet. What's in here? This gives us energy. It's a safe working. In fact, even a 1 here. I don't know about negative actually, but I think a 1 will give us... Let's try it. 2 energy. Negative outcome, 2 energy. Love it. Okay, so energy's full now. Let's try going... Yeah, there's nothing here to interact with. How do I find a grow bed for the seed? I did it before. I can't remember how. But let's go back to Bliss. I'm going to go and invest in her venture. and see where that goes. It's only 80 now because of our discount. Awesome. Bliss is incredibly grateful. I'll pay you back every chit, I promise you. I guess you two are partners now. Is there going to be a timer on that? Yeah, but not a long one. Three cycles and we'll be able to do something there. That's cool. Sleeping. Those are the expensive sleeping birds, aren't they? An expensive lounge. So I'm probably okay. We'll go back to the rim. I have to remember to go back up there in 3 cycles. I've got a 6. It's quite tempting to do something. I don't really need as much money now. 64. So I'd be below 100 if I get more stabilizer. But I think I can wait at least 4 cycles for more, as long as we have 4 dice. There's the ships. Well, okay, that one's gone. There is one here. I could maybe do 16 to get some more scrap. It literally is scrap. What am I going to use my 6 on? I'm not sure. Okay, what are we working towards? We could maybe go and get some girolles. Maybe. But it does say it's a late game content, so maybe we'll leave it a little. Waiting for Feng for both of those. Find a nurturing grow bed. Kind of working and all that. I mean, there's the sidereal, but I just don't think I'm gonna. It requires so many segments to complete this. I don't really see me doing it, if I'm honest. I think I'm gonna have other priorities. Maybe towards the end, if like I sort of run out of stuff to do. I don't really want to help Ethan. There's Rabia. I mean, I think we have to kind of do this one to... How do we add into this? I think we have to do this to kind of help Sabine more. So although I'm not that fussed about helping the Yataghan, I do think that in terms of helping Sabine, this is what I need to do. So I'll get another scrap component for this. I think it's just going to do 1 segment. I'd love it if it did more. Yeah, just the 1. So that's going to take 12 to fill up. So it's going to be a little while. But yeah, I guess we'll feed the little kitty again. I've got the money now. I could self-repair to get 5 dice tomorrow. It's tempting. Because it actually would give me 5. I think I will. Because the extra dice just gives you so many more options. And actually, we can keep working for the Yataghan then, and keep getting scrap for doing it, and then keep topping up our dice, so that's pretty good. Alright, let's end the cycle. That's pretty good. I don't need to re-roll that. Let's think about things. I mean, maybe we'll do more Yataghan stuff, because I think I'm probably still several days away from the stuff up there. They're growing the mushrooms. Bliss needs a couple more days, so I think maybe we'll just do this Yataghan thing. And work towards helping Sabine, I think. I think that's how it works. So we could... I can't really see that because it's white back. We need 2 energy to kind of fill up our energy bar, so we might as well do this. If I put a 4 in, that should be good. There we go, see, energy's full. And now we can get some scrap. So let's try the 4. Try the 3, I think that's a 75% chance of a decent outcome. I get the negative. Arse. Tempted to do the 6 on it as well. I can top up the energy in other ways. Well, I could go back to the farm and top it up. And kind of put into that as well. Maybe I will do that. Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really pay him, but I think... Let's put our 1 in here. Thinking about it. There we go, got energy back. And I'll go and put the 6 into the Yataghan as well. I know I said initially I won't do that, but I'm pretty sure that advances the Sabine storyline, and I want to help them. I'm not sure I did the first time round. Because I don't really want to work for the Enforcers, but... ultimately, I think it'll help the Doctor. There we go. We've got a couple more scraps so we can top up a bit as well on our condition. So yeah, I think we'll do that. It's not the most exciting day, but we're kind of waiting on timers now to kind of progress a couple of storylines. So let's keep ourselves topped up. That's pretty cool. Feed the cat. A middling day, I would say. I might check cycles. I think Bliss still needs a cycle to do it. Yeah, she does. Well, I'll go and check the other stuff on the other side as well. We'll probably use the 1 to top up our health. So a bit more there on the mushrooms. What's happening here in the hyperlabs? Oh, yeah, she needs... Actually, maybe we should get a Girol and finish this one off. Probably should do that, thinking about it. I was kind of waiting on the Matsutakis, but I'll do this now. There we go. Nice energy. Let's go get a Girol. Says it's dangerous. What about if I put a 4 in? That should give us what we want. She gave us the energy as well. I didn't realise. Oh, where's my... Did I not get the mushroom? I didn't get the mushroom. Let's try the 4. Neutral outcome just gives me energy. Oh, 'cause I want a Girol. 3 neutrals in a row. Outrageous. Alright, let's try this. Probably be a negative one now and I lose the energy. Yeah. You little bugger. Can I reroll those dice? Oh man. What a waste. Wasted all my dice on that. Ugh. Alright. Let's end the cycle, I suppose. Oh my god, I think that might be a reroll. That's a really bad day. Let's do that. It's even worse. Well, it's about the same, but I got a 5 instead of a 3, I guess. Oh, Moritz, Bliss's assistant. Hey. A quiet voice greets you as you leave. Sleeper, it's me. Do I know you? Moritz. He pauses. I work for Bliss. He rubs the back of his head. You're not an easy person to find. I don't really have an address. Moritz holds up his hands. Hey, no judgment, it's cool. You both stand there for a moment, each waiting for the other to speak. So... Oh yeah, well, Bliss needs you. A job just come in, real big one. She's asking for you to come in and help her out. I'll be right there. Nice, yeah. Moritz stands there for a little while, unsure if the message is delivered. I got it. Cool. He looks round. Bliss just asked me to do a, thorough job. He rubs his hands together before burying them in his jacket pockets. See ya, sleeper. Moritz ambles off down the corridor, kicking at a filter cap on his way out. Time to head to Bliss's Bay then. Well, the mushrooms still need a day. I don't know whether to even try that Girol one again, quite honestly. I'll try it. Do I try my 5? I'll try my 5. I think that's 100% positive. I mean, we'll get a Girol cap here with the 5. Honestly. Right. Oh, no, it's not Hi-Fi Labs, is it? It's, yeah, it is. And we'll give this to Rico. And we're done. Rico meets you at the entrance to the lab, leaning on her crutch, with a glint in her eye.
Walk with me, Sleeper. I'd like to tell you a story.
She makes her way down the corridor that leads back up towards the main commune building.
When people first crossed what we call Founder's Gap into the Greenway, they did so against the wishes of Andre Erlin. At the time, Erlin was trying to stabilize the Union and establish control over the Eye in the wake of Solheim's collapse. It was chaos, competing factions, failing systems, so many dead and injured from the riots. That was his priority.
Listen. You both cross through a glass-roofed tunnel, the Greenway outside crowded with vines and branches dappling the light.
Erlin had written the Greenway off, cut off from the rest of the station and linked to a broken spoke. He claimed it was only a matter of time before everything here would die. He refused to let anyone abandon their duty to the Union and cross. They were traitors to the cause, or as good as.
Rico continues, making her slow but steady way into the inner gardens of the commune.
There weren't many of us, but we believed what was here was worth saving. We had to keep our plans secret until we crossed, and some of us left people behind.
She pauses to catch her breath, her voice cracking. It is difficult to know if from effort or emotion.
What we found was a disaster. Nothing like what you see here. Half of the Greenway was leaking oxygen into space, the plants flash frozen. The other half was a swamp of mulch as decaying matter clogged every system. We worked hard, we lost good people. We cleaned up and closed up, but it was never going to be enough. After many, many cycles, we all knew this place was doomed, but we kept on working, talking less and less because we couldn't face it. We all developed a death wish. If the Greenway was going to die, so would we.
But it didn't die.
It did not.
Rico smiles.
We crossed some invisible boundary, tipped some biological scale, and the Greenway started to recover. Plants flowered. Crops sprouted. For the first time, we reaped the fruits of our labor.
Rico smiles, looking up at you.
We thought it was us, that we managed to do just enough to end the cycle of decay. I thought we had saved the Greenway. Until today.
You pass into the growbeds of the commune, rich with the hustle and bustle of Hi-Fi members planting and harvesting. For a while, Rico is quiet, and you both simply observe the hypnotic movement of the work crews, the eager chatter washing over you like a wave. Rico smiles to herself.
I should have known, of course, that our arrogance was unfounded, but we needed to believe back then. We needed a myth to bring more people across the gap.
You both move into a smaller corridor, Rico following some direction unknown to you.
What you have showed me is that back then, the Greenway saved us, not the other way around. Tell me, have you ever consumed one of the Matsutake or Girol caps you've been growing?
Well, I guess we gave them to Emphis, didn't we? So yes.
I imagine they were delicious, nutritious, almost uniquely so, she muses. After all, they were designed for you.
Rico has a mischievous look.
At first, I thought it was the location they were grown in that made the mushrooms from the aviary, from the labs, or from the grove different to each other. But what I have come to understand is that it is the person growing them. The Matsutake and Girol caps you brought me are totally unique, containing compounds never usually found in similar specimens in my possession. Many of these compounds aren't even digestible for humans, but for a sleeper like you...
Rico smiles as she leads you into the internal garden of the commune, where the Hi-Fi members have planted species from all over the Greenway.
Back when the tide turned, when the Greenway started to recover, we all felt something, a response. It was as if this place was not just alive, as a forest is alive, but alive in other ways. Communicative, responsive. We shrugged it off at the time, but now I understand why.
Rico stops and turns to you.
This place is responding to us, adapting itself to us. It is growing fruiting bodies for you, for me. It is adapting, changing. It is, in short, displaying all the signs of sentience. The Greenway is sentient? Perhaps not the Greenway, but the ecosystem itself, or something within it.
Rico sits on a bench within the peaceful gardens and gestures for you to join her.
When you have been growing the girolles and the matsutakis in the aviary, those species so familiar to the Greenway, have you discovered any others?
Yes, we've got these clubheads. Rico can barely contain her excitement.
Now I should like to see those. Please bring me some the next time you're here.
You look around the garden, amazed at the sense of peace within it. Rico interrupts the silence.
There is a species of mushroom that I haven't seen in years. It is dark, short, shaped like a club. Well, we've got those. We first found it in those early days when we were working to save this place. It was around the time that we started to lose our first members. They were succumbing to some infection, some mold growing deep in the dark mulch that drowned this place. At that point, we thought we were lost. And then these mushrooms emerged from that same black mold. We tested them and saw that they contained some compounds that counteracted the mold. They contained an antidote. Of course, as a botanist, I saw this as part of the natural processes of this ecosystem, even if the time scale seemed absurdly short. But what I am wondering is if that antidote was a gift.
Rico meets your eyes.
Perhaps if you're patient, you will receive your gift too, Sleeper.
You both sit for a while, Rico seemingly done telling stories for today. You watch the light playing off the leaves and plants around you. I wonder what forces could be at play in this place. After a while, you stand and leave, with a quiet nod to Rico, leaving her to her memories. How many club heads does she want? 3. Well, I've got 2, so we'll start off with those. That's good. We need another one. Our mushrooms will be ready to harvest in the next cycle, and also Feng will be ready next cycle. We're going to cross over and help Bliss, but I think we're going to use one of our 3 ones, to get our energy topped off. Like so. Probably can't do much else productive, but let's go see what we can do with Bliss. Okay, so we have the Ember's Wake contract. We've got 3 cycles to do this. And I've got two ones and a 2. Okay, so, I mean, we have a clock of 8. So we would need 2 full system flushes. Successful ones. Bliss has an idea, a full system flush with tracer fluid to reveal the leaks, which means an emergency venting of all tanks. Brilliant, dangerous. We also have tank recladding. Typically the way to fix this kind of leak is to painstakingly inspect and reseal the entire ship's cladding, but is there time? Oof. Well, we can't, I don't think we can do anything this cycle, because if I put this in here... Shit, let's give it a go. Okay, well we got one section of clock. That's okay considering what I put in a 2. 2 1s. Aye, we're almost halfway to getting this guy over here. Don't think I can do much in Rabia's office. We'll just lose condition. 50% chance. I'll leave that for now. I think Castor's done with us. We can't do anything here now. Well, I think probably all I can do is get a couple of Yataghan agents' data. It's not a dead loss, obviously. Like, effectively we'll get 40 credits worth of stuff. But because we're not short on money at the moment, I might just hang on to them for now, just in case they're needed. guess we go to bed. Hope for better dice in the morning. We'll only have 4. A bit worried about the clock on the bounty hunter, but we need Feng for that, and I think we'll be able to progress that today. Decent dice. Okay, that's not bad. I think we got to do Feng. No, we've only got 3 cycles to help Bliss. Okay, we'll do that. I'll use my 5 and one of my 4s. And that will hopefully be enough. I'll put the 5 on here, so that's a guaranteed success. You carefully trigger the emergency sequence and the tracer fluid does its job. All the leaks are revealed. Now you just need to seal them, so I can't do that again. So we need another 2 successful checks on this, and I think maybe both our 4s will do that. Use the 4s. There we go. As you both wait in the airlock for it to cycle back to the bay, Bliss thumps you on the arm.
Nicely done, Sleeper. We cleared that contract, no problem. She stretches. Once we're back in the bay, we can check if the payment has come through and divide it up. She stretches. Feels good. The airlock clunks and the lights flicker, and a moment later you're back in the bay where Moritz is at the racks, trying to figure out where the mess of tools Bliss left in her wake should be hung. Hey, Moritz. Morris looks over his shoulder.
Sleeper?
He spins a wrench in his hand.
Look like clean work out here.
He nods respectfully. You look over at Bliss, who's already gliding over to her management console. She twirls a little as she crosses the cavernous bay. No one you've ever met moves as well in zero-G as she does. It's like she was born into it. Shit! Bliss slams a fist onto the console. Shit, shit, shit! What's up? I can't even... Bliss closes her eyes. Come here! Bliss calls you over. Look at this! Just look! She spins the terminal screen and you see the details for the bay's account. You see an entry for the Ember's wake, a repair fee paid in full the moment you finished up the job. But then directly after, the whole amount was transferred back out into an unknown account. What the hell? This is the work of my ex. She punches the terminal. He must have coded a back door into this machine before he left. She rubs her forehead. There's no way we can... She pauses, thinking, Moritz, throw me that wrench. What's that for? Moritz spins the wrench across the bay, and Bliss smiles. This? Bliss brings the wrench down on the terminal hard. You flinch backwards as a hail of computer parts spill up into the bay in a glittering arc. Fragments of screen, memory, sections of the casing. When Bliss is done, she clips the wrench to her tool belt. Try backdooring your way into that, you shit! Moritz drifts out from his hiding place amongst the racks.
Bliss, he says tentatively, you want me to,
He looks at the arc of fragments drifting around the bay nervously. Bliss shakes her head. No, she sighs. I've got it. You go get me a new terminal, cheapest you can find. Cobble one together from pieces at the Auto Exchange if you have to. Bliss. She looks over at you. I'm good now. Bliss slides over to a panel by the wall. Don't worry, one of the first things I had installed when we spec'd out this place was a cleaning sweep. She flicks over a plastic cover on a huge red button. Watch yourself. She hammers the button, and a row of laser emitters unfold from the bay wall. They start crawling their way across the work area, frying the debris as they do in pulses of burning light. Bliss smiles. Is that, or just space the whole bay every few cycles? What now? Bliss sighs. We keep at it. The cleaning sweep buzzes and crackles as it works its way across the bay. That account wasn't everything. I'm not stupid. Once Moritz gets back, I'll secure it and flush everything else. She flicks a nearby piece of debris into the path of the sweep. Clean break. Then we take another contract. That's it. She shuts off the sweep as it reaches the near end of the bay. You don't want the cryo back? I want it, but it's gone. He could have transferred it anywhere. She looks out across the hub. And even if I knew where he was, the last thing I want is to ever see him again. She rubs her forehead. I'm sorry, Sleeper. I know you worked for this too, but next time won't be the same. That's okay. She smiles. See you in a few cycles. Moritz will let you know. She winks and kicks off into the bay to finish clearing up. Well, that was disappointing. I was hoping for some money out of that. Oh well. How many cycles is it? 2 cycles to the next one? 4 cycles. Okay. Ne'er mind. I don't think I can do much with this one. But we can cross over into the Greenway and maybe just get some energy at the farm. Commune, I should say. We can have a look at what Feng's got to say. I don't really think I can even pick mushrooms with this. I might get a Girol cap, but I'd like to get the 2 random rare ones, honestly, so we'll try and input higher numbers into that. Alright, let's talk to Feng. When you enter the service dock, Feng is already set up, crouched among stacks of equipment. He's leaning over a terminal, bathed in a blue glow. He looks totally at home. Sleeper, what do you think? Turns out not everyone in Havanage is... Oh, it ended the quote marks, but it's still him talking, I think. Turns out not everyone in Havanage is set against me. A couple of my old systems pals managed to ship me some of my old gear. He gestures at the pile of blinking hardware. Nice kit. Feng does a mock bow. Any updates? Feng beckons you over. He has a set of scans of the wastes on his terminal, with heat maps of activity overlaid. A chunk on the derelict rim is blotchy with bright red and orange marks. Does this look like a wasteland to you? Feng shakes his head. There's hundreds of Conway machines out there, all lined up in concealed hangars, and a whole underground facility to support them. Hardin has got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece through the shipyard, ready for assembly out here. Why? They are planning something. No one needs hundreds of heavy-duty reclamation drones to run this kind of operation. Maybe Hardin masked this whole thing as an effort to clean up the wastes, but there's no way this is about pulling scrap off the eye. Feng looks worried. And why is Conway in the mix? I bet no one in Havanage knows another corporation is setting up on the station. They aren't stupid either. These scans are the best info I can get. The wastes are cut off from the eye's cloud of networks, and the Greenway is a total dark zone. No data can come in or out. We can't hack them? We can't from here. He turns and winks. That's why I'm going to pay them a visit. How? You forget, Havanage come in and out of there all cycle. I should be able to get in, as long as no one I know sees me. He grimaces playfully. But I need you on the outside to help disable security systems and cut me a pathway through. There's no cloud access, but if I can get inside, I can open up nodes in their network, and we can work in tandem. It's a massive facility, buried deep down there. Miles of corridor and ventways, wrapped around cargo bays and hangars, so it'll take more than a few cycles to work through it. But as long as you can keep them off my back, I know I can rip what we need out of here. He pulls a handful of ripperworms from his pocket and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers I managed to salvage, so make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their data threads back into the system they're tunneling into, creating a nasty little feedback loop. We run it just like we did with the agents. Hack the nodes I ping to locate the ports for the security system, then slot the worms in those systems and let them go to town. He points to a fuzzy silhouette of the buried facility on the terminal. Here's the entryway, and this is where you can get access and slot the first worm. That'll fry their perimeter systems and get me past the first cordon. What I need from you is to keep your eyes on the facility after you kick things off. You see me pop up a security system, a server bank. You need to break in and slot a ripper to disable it as soon as you can. If I can't? Feng gives you a hard look. You miss a system. You wait too long, they're gonna find me. Simple as that. He claps you on the shoulder. I need you focused on this one, so I'm not gonna let you fire the starting gun. I won't go until you slot that first worm. I'll leave a tracker running on the terminal here, so come back here if you want to see my progress. He affectionately pats the top of the screen. It sounds risky. Risky? Huh. This is audacious at least. He grins. Wouldn't be worth it if it wasn't. Feng gets up. It's all in place. You just need to make your own preparations, then slot that worm. He stretches. Just don't wait too long. I'm getting bored of all this sneaking around. Once I'm inside, I'll get the proof we need to end this whole thing. No matter what. He crouches to check the terminal. We can't take longer than 6 cycles on this thing. Remember that. He stands up. Oh, and one last thing. He lowers his voice. If I get caught, or you can't reach me, or we run out of time, there's one thing I need you to do. What? You take whatever I've managed to pull at that point, all that data, and you slot that stuff straight into the relay I've set up here. He points to a pile of servers and terminals hooked into the dock, with cables as thick as your arm. I repurposed the dock's SOS broadcast system to beam out whatever you put in it. Anyone with a terminal, a slate, or a server on the eye will see it. That means Havanage, Yachtadagan, the hub, everyone. No matter what, Hardin isn't snaking away this time. He grins. I've got a bit more to do here, but the moment you slot that first worm, I'll make my move. He gives you a parting smile and turns back to the terminal. The nerves hit as you make your way out of the service dock. Time to prepare yourself. And as he's intimated there, this is one that's really against the clock. So, I'm obviously not going to do it at a day when I've only got a 1. So, yeah, I'm going to do a day of doing those mushrooms, I think, and getting those harvested. Meantime, we're going to go into the commune and get our energy topped up. We'll rest here. Hoping for decent dice. I want to get a good amount of rare mushrooms from that place. Need at least one club one to finish off the Rico bit. I'll use the 5 and 3. Then I might reroll. Definitely get 2 random ones from this. 2 rare random ones. Nice, we've got 2... Oh, they're Matsutake, actually. Okay. Which is fine, because we need those for Emphas. Not complaining about those. We'll try the 4... Yes! We've got club heads, too. Nice. And an extra Matsutake. We'll reroll these. Got a 3 and a 2. Alright, I'll use the 3 in here. I honestly don't mind if we get a Girol even here. Oh, we got the 2 more random ones. We got a Girol and... Oh, 2 Girols. So that's done for that harvest. So we're going to go to Rico. We'll give her the club head. You hand them over to an eager Rico, who immediately begins work on the samples. Rico is at her bench running small vials of some liquid through an old chemical analysis machine. The whirring of the spinning drum fills the lab with white noise, and you aren't sure if she notices you approach.
Sleeper, it's good to see you.
She looks up smiling.
This little project of ours has been keeping me awake the past few cycles, but right now, well, I think I have something.
What is it? The drum finishes spinning and Rico lifts a vial from it, holding it up to the light.
This is something I extracted from those club heads you've been bringing me, and according to my analysis, it is a substance totally unique on the Greenway.
You look at the small amount of liquid in the vial.
Any idea what it might be?
Rico asks, without looking away from the vial. I reckon it's stabilizer. Rico nods.
You aren't the first sleeper to come through here. Perhaps I should have mentioned that earlier.
Rico's tone suddenly drops, changing the atmosphere in the lab immediately.
I just thought...
She pauses, thinking very carefully of how to continue.
I just wanted you to trust us.
What do you mean? She sighs.
They came through a fair few cycles ago. We found them wandering in the broken section near the gap. The members who brought them in had never seen one of you before. They were terrified of this strange person wandering in from open vacuum. They were quieter than you and damaged. We did our best to patch them up and welcome them to the commune. I only really spoke to them once while I was working on their wounds along with a couple of systems engineers.
She looks nervously at you.
I'd never seen a body like that before. I took some readings, some samples.
Samples?
You have to understand, I was curious. I didn't know what I was looking at. I just took a little of the damaged material, less than a thumbnail.
She shifts her weight to her crutch.
The next cycle they were gone. They took a little food and hiked up towards the wild margins where the Greenway meets the wastes. Someone saw them in the distance, but that was it. They disappeared into the undergrowth.
She sits down heavily, the vial in her hand.
When I saw you, I wanted things to be different. I wanted to keep you here rather than let you disappear into... wherever they ended up.
She smiles to herself.
Yes, I wanted you to understand this place better, but I also wanted to help you. It seems that somehow both my wishes have come true at once.
She holds out her hand with the vial.
This is for you.
You take the stabilizer, the glass cold and smooth in your palm. I told you we get more stabilizer. For free. That's a couple of freebies we've had now.
Oh, don't thank me.
She gazes out at the Greenway through the glass.
Those club head caps made it for you. Or at least who or whatever made those club heads.
She starts to clear her bench.
It was right there, contained in their tissue. I only had to extract it. I imagine you understand how incredible that is. I learned enough from that sleeper to know that your body, your frame, is it? It runs on some exotic technology. Exotic technology that has a time limit built in. Somehow the Greenway knows that too. It understands your physiology much better than I ever could. It knows how to treat you. Just like that miraculous antidote that sprung from the mold, so too has this sprung from your presence here. The Greenway is speaking to you. It is welcoming you.
She looks up.
I know it sounds crazy, but I know it to be true, and here's the evidence. And what I also know is that it is no longer speaking to me. Even after decades here, I have never seen this kind of response. Not since the antidote so many cycles ago.
She smiles.
So I'm going to make you a deal. You bring me as many club heads as you like, I'll extract the stabilizer and give it to you freely, but you have to tell me what the Greenway says. You have to speak with it, to dig into it, to find out what being is at the center of it. Now, I've travelled as far as I can. I need you to do the rest. Can you do that?
Yes. Rico sighs with relief and deflates into her chair.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the other sleeper. Truly I am. I'm sorry I couldn't have done more. But I'm so glad I met you.
She smiles.
You're welcome here any time.
Rico falls silent. She looks smaller now, more fragile, and you realise how old she must be to have seen the collapse firsthand. You idle a little in the lab in case she asks for anything else, but she remains silent, and so you drift back into the tunnel, thoughts of that other sleeper and where they ended up, weighing on your mind. Awesome! We got more stabilizer. How many upgrade points? 1. Well, we're not doing anything with that. We've got to save it. Rico's grow beds. Ooh. In part, the only way to understand what the gardener gave you is to grow it. Rico is incredibly excited by the prospect. We are going to grow, baby.
I'll take good care of it, sleeper.
Rico smiles.
Don't you worry.
Is there a timer on that? Yes, it is. 8 days. Okay. Cool. So more club heads is going to equal more staff. But I don't want to use a 2 on it particularly. I might use the 2 to get more energy from the commune. We're exactly halfway around this clock now. I think what I'll do... What other clocks am I waiting for at the moment? Conway tracker, that's Feng. Greenway, we're doing. That's underway. That's the DLC, not doing. We can give Emphas our Matsutake. With Bliss, we're waiting. Serial ticket, I'm not really doing. Work for Rabia, I'm going to need higher dice than a 2. Emphas is going to need some time to prepare. But we'll, just in case he does it immediately, we'll maybe get our energy from there. He only needs 2 of these. Emphas inhales the deep autumnal aroma of the Matsutake caps and nods. He seems impressed. Yeah, so I think it's another 3 days, is it? Yeah. And that's fine. Was it the Paz import-export that needs mushrooms? It needs 3 Matsutake to export. I've only got 2. I think I'll save the girolles because I think I can use those for the DLC. So let's use our 2 to get a bit of energy from the commune, and we'll rest up, and then we'll go and help Feng in the next cycle, but I'll probably end the video here. We're not going to use stabilizer yet. I'll wait till it gets down towards the 3, and then we'll use it to increase our dice back up to 5, I think. So let's do... Oh no, I didn't do the energy thing! Ah! Oh well. Decent dice. Alright, so we'll leave it there for now. So thanks very much for watching this episode of Citizen Sleeper. I hope you've enjoyed it. Slight mistakes just then aside. I'm really enjoying this game. Like I said, this was actually the 3rd episode of this I filmed today, just because every time I think, oh, what should I film next? I end up coming back to this. And hopefully you're enjoying it too. And if you are, please do hit the thumbs up button on the video. Leave a comment, let me know, are you enjoying this as much as I am? Because I'm having a good time. Subscribe to the channel too if you're not done so already, because that would be fantastic. And in the meantime, I'll see you again next time for more Citizen Sleeper. Bye for now.